When I first started this channel at the beginning of 2025, the idea was that I would just talk about whatever pop culture issue struck my fancy. In those early days, it mostly ended up being comic books and video games. A little bit heavier on comic books than on video games at that time. Over the course of the year, I was going to add a few other things. I planned on doing a series on Disney World. I wasn't putting anything out at any real cadence, and it just kind of faded. I would go months at a time without putting out a video until I found my Atari 5200 at a flea market in December and started making videos about that in January. Since then, I've been going at a much faster clip, 1 or 2 a week. Most weeks I've gotten into where I'm putting out 2 plus shorts, and I've only done 1 of those videos about comic books. Most of them have been on gaming. Most of them have in fact been on retro or vintage gaming, especially with the focus on that Atari. Now, I do intend for the future for that to be my focus. I've loved getting into retro gaming. I've loved getting into the community, and that is where my passion for making these videos lie. But at the same time, comic books remain my love language, and that's not going to change. So every once in a while, you're going to have to indulge me. You don't have to watch the video, but you will have to indulge me. Hi, I'm Paul, and this is Indie Pop Productions, pop culture from an independent point of view. And today, it's going to be a very simple video. We're just going to get into a few of the comic books I have received, my most recent finds from Kickstarter, 2 from Kickstarter in fact, and 1 from another crowdfunding company called Zoop. We're going to do a little bit of unboxing, see what we have, and talk a little bit about my experience with those creators and with those projects. The first project that I backed on here that I'm going to show you is the latest Kickstarter from Stranger Comics. Not the latest currently, because there's actually another one going on right now. They've always got a Kickstarter going on with something new coming out, and they are all worth backing. But the most recent completed one, I went just to give you an idea what their stuff looks like. I did find just a couple of my comics I've backed from them in the past. I did go digging through to find everything. I've backed quite a few of their Kickstarters and never regretted it. It's always great material that they're putting out. I've also got one of their graphic novels here. This wasn't Kickstarter. I bought this on Amazon. It's a little bit worn because it's been read quite a bit, but just to give you an idea what their interior art looks like, they put out just really the best fantasy comic book artwork you're gonna find anywhere, and it's a little different. Their comic books are a little bit more multi-ethnic than what you're usually going to see in fantasy comics. A little bit of a hip-hop influence here and there, especially in their alternate cover art. You've got hip-hop influence, you've got anime influence, you got influence from other comic books, and they're absolutely beautiful, very collectible, and we're going to get into this most recent one right here. Okay. This is very, very typical about what these Kickstarter comic book boxes look like. Okay, apparently there's a survey that I have not completed. There is one that I got through a special presentation from them. I thought I completed the survey. Sorry, guys. Let's get this open though, because this is a special version of the comic book. It's Jason Wise. Jason, it's a very Indiana Jones kind of storyline, only he's doing it in reverse. He's an immortal character that basically goes and finds artwork in museums have been stolen, with artwork and artifacts that have been stolen from other peoples, and he takes them back. So the opposite of Indiana Jones. A little note from the team right here that I have not filled out that survey. I'm usually really good about that. I apologize, but you can just tell right there. I mean, the artwork is beautiful. This is the virgin cover, very nice, autographed by the creative team. I will hopefully show you the rest of that eventually when I'm a good boy and fill out that survey. So I'll get that done real soon. But it's, again, even the artwork on the inside, the cover artwork is beautiful. The artwork on the inside is gorgeous. I will show you the completed project once I do what I'm supposed to do and have that taken care of. But for now, beautiful copy right here. All right, well, that was a little bit embarrassing, but I've completed that survey now and come back. So hopefully before too long, I'll be able to show you the entire package that I got from them, which has quite a few alternate covers and special editions that'll be coming in. I'm looking forward to that because everything they put out is always extremely high quality. The next I'm going to show you is one from Zoop. It's not one I'm going to unbox. It's one that has already been unboxed. I opened it up a little while back. And it was an interesting one. Zoop is a little different than Kickstarter. If I understand how it works correctly, Kickstarter really is just a platform for creators to raise funds for their projects. Whereas Zoop is a little more hands-on. A lot of it is handled in-house. They have to approve your project, and they do a lot of the printing and the production and getting the stuff out there with you. They kind of partner with you, work hand in hand, much more select amounts, and they really have a heavy focus on comic books. I've seen a few board games there recently, but mostly it's comic books. And a while back, I saw one from one of my childhood heroes, a writer, a comic book writer, normally a little bit of sci-fi, normally comic books and sci-fi back and forth, Jim Starlin. He wrote something when I was young called Cosmic Odyssey, which blew my mind. I think it was a 4-issue premiere edition, so the thick bound comics Space Odyssey with a lot of your major DC characters, Justice League type characters, and it was just phenomenally written. Destruction of the universe kind of stuff, sending people off in teams. And the thing that stuck out for me about that so much is just that comic book to me was a turning point for John Stewart as Green Lantern. And so if you like Green Lantern, John Stewart, Green Lantern, John Stewart as he was in the Justice League cartoon series, thank Jim Starlin, because I don't think if it was for this story, he would have become that character that gave other authors, other writers, and artists a jumping off point. Now, a lot of stuff that Jim's done has been independent. Dreadstar was one of his big ones. I've read some of that. Dreadstar's good stuff. I respected him as an independent creator as well at that time period. But one that I'd heard of, but I'd never read was Breed. And so when he came out with a Zoop, his team came out with a Zoop that was an omnibus of his Breed stories, which I'd never read, really didn't know much of anything about. I was like, that's awesome. I will back that. It's going to be a nice, thick omnibus, hardbound, and it's a little expensive. It was more than $100 for it, but it was autographed. And to have Jim's autograph, when you own a hero's autographs on something like that, don't know how many opportunities you're going to get to do that. I don't get to go to comic book conventions all over the country, just usually the ones and the Beaumont in Houston. Maybe if I'm lucky, I can go to Austin. But that's quite a bit of a drive. I don't usually get to go to all those. So to get that autograph, it was well worth it. But it came in a little while back. It was in a box bigger than the book itself, and it wasn't packed with anything. So it was even though the box itself wasn't beat up, just being loose in there and being heavy, it was good and beat up. I'll show you. Big, thick, beautiful omnibus graphic novel. Very happy to have it, but it's got some rips on it. I don't know if you can see that, but a good rip right there. Got the autograph, so I was, where is it? Very happy to have Jim's autograph, but also it was just the way it was beat up. It's coming loose already, brand new, just because of how, I don't know if it was just poorly bound or if it was just the packaging. So I tried to contact someone, and with Zoop, it's not like you contact the creators like you would on Kickstarter. You contact Zoop customer service. Took them a little while to get back with me, and basically they just said, well, they're kind of fragile. We don't have any more with Jim's autograph, so sorry. Also never got the digital copy that was supposed to come with it. They said check your spam folder. I did. I never got it. No response on this. Very poor customer service. I'd still follow Jim. I really don't think it's his team's fault. I think it's Zoop. So if you want to back, I feel comfortable backing his Dreadstar campaign. Dreadstar's really cool, 80s style sci-fi comic book hero. So do check that one out. But I kind of like this. I'm part of me still happy I got it just for the autograph, but I'm kind of concerned that for too long the binding's just going to completely come apart. It's already got a rip right here at the seam, and I'm just going to have an autographed pile of papers. Not really worth $100 for that, but I love Jim. I'm looking forward to reading this, especially if I could ever get the digital copy, because I'm kind of scared to open this up too much. It'll fall apart. So gonna back Jim in the future. Probably not going to back anything else from Zoop, I hate to say. My next one's coming in. It's from the Word for Word Comic Bible. These are really cool. Each one is a different book of the Bible. I've backed several of theirs. They have really cool art. When you get the ones that are on the Kickstarter, they got this kind of cool holographic overlay to them that makes them limited edition. The ones that I bought after the fact, because I didn't hear about them right off, there were several out, quite a bit out before I found out about them. They're just the plain covers, but still really, really beautiful art. There's a couple things I love about these. One is that they have every single word of the New International Version of the Bible in them. So when it's done, it'll be incredibly thick because it's graphic novels, but every single word of the Bible will be in these. So even if it's something that's told through the pictures, they want to make sure they're not misinterpreting things. And so somehow either into the background or below it, they'll have captioning so you can read the entire Bible through these. And also, I just love the art. The art style on these is beautiful. They don't hold back. They really show you what the Bible is talking about. And a lot of the Bible comic books I've seen in the past, they basically just make the characters look like white superheroes. And these, it's obviously a cartoon version. It's caricatures, but show you another one. They look, they look like they're from the region they're supposed to be from. These are really beautiful comics. The art is great in them. It's consistent because it's the same team working on every single one of them. I highly suggest it, especially if you got some people that are hesitant readers, but maybe want to check out what the Bible has to say. I do suggest these. They are incredibly cool. So let's go ahead and get in this package, and let's hope that I haven't made another mistake and not filled out a survey, and that these come in good condition. It feels like it's got everything that I paid for in there, and it does also feel tight enough that things weren't going to be sliding around there. So I feel pretty good about this one. A couple flyers in here. Advertisement for their collectible card game. I don't know if it's collectible, but card game, which I also backed. I have that. That's very cool. The Book of Judges, which is a normal cover, so one of the ones that I hadn't read. This will be interesting. The Book of Judges is a very dark and very violent book of the Bible, so that'll be an interesting thing to see in comic format. And then we've got the one that I backed, so it's got that holographic overlay of the epistles to the Thessalonians. So these are going to look really cool in my collection. I do eventually hope to have all of them. Again, art on the inside, just really great, not traditional comic book style, great storytelling, excellent way of just promoting the story, putting it out there for people that might not want to encounter it in a different way. So short video, simple video, just a few different comic books that I have backed. I back these things fairly often. I've got a lot more coming in the future. I've got some video game stuff coming, of course, through Kickstarter, but I've got a lot of comic books. So every once in a while, like I said, you don't have to watch the video if you're not interested, but you are gonna have to indulge me. I'm not gonna cut comic books completely out of my channel, but I will focus on video games, and I'm gonna have something a little more Atari related for you within a few days. So you'll check that out soon. And guys, I hope that you'll like and subscribe if you like this or if you like the video games. And as always, I'll see you next time.